Welcome, beautiful souls, to another episode of the Liberated Women podcast. I'm so happy that you are tuning in once again for some nuggets of feminine wisdom. To every single one of you that likes the podcast, reviews the podcast, shares the podcast on your social media, Facebook, Instagram, with your friends over WhatsApp, I really deeply appreciate you. Because the more that you share this out, the more women get to experience the wisdom and the magic that is shared in this container. And it really does mean the world to me that as my community, you are sharing this out and sharing with me what you like about the podcast. And if there's any episodes that you specifically would like to hear about, please send me a DM, drop me a message on Instagram, and I will be happy to create an episode around the topics that you desire. Today, I'm going to be diving into what the difference is between your ego desire and your soul desire. I've got an upcoming amazing 21-day challenge. I actually prefer to call it a journey because it is going to be a journey called Soul on Fire. Because I know that as an awakening woman, you have desires that are seated in your soul that are waiting to be birthed into this world. I know that you have gifts deep inside of yourself. And perhaps as you are awakening, those gifts are starting to come online, but there's something stopping you from perhaps sharing those gifts with the world, or really believing that you are worthy of those desires. And in this 3-week journey, Soul on Fire, I'm going to take you through a daily task, a daily challenge, inner work healing, shadow healing, inner child healing, a live opening ceremony, a live closing ceremony, and a live breathwork ceremony, as well as these daily tasks dropped into a Telegram group where you can share your ideas and your responses with the other women who join the space, so that you can start to move through the blocks and the resistance to living the life that you truly desire from an aligned space, from your soul's desires. So what do I mean by ego desire versus soul desire? An ego desire is coming from the mind. It's like this irritating, like angry little tantrum, red-faced child that's like banging on the inside of your mind, saying to you, but you should be doing this, and you should be there by now, and you should have achieved X, and you should be pleasing that person. And these desires are coming from the need to validate, from the need to please an external source, and honestly, mostly from a place of trauma. Your ego desire might say to you something like, as a 35-year-old woman, for example, I don't know what age you are listening, but as an X number woman, you should have achieved X, Y, and Z by now. And if you haven't done that, you are not worthy. You are not validated in society. You haven't fulfilled your full potential. And so that tiny, nasty little inner critic voice inside your head that tells you that you should be at a certain time in a certain space is trying to get you to live your desire out from a place of scarcity and a place of fear, as opposed to a place of true alignment and true desire. Excuse me, I've been suffering with a bad cough for about 3 weeks now. So this is the first time I'm recording a podcast episode in about 3 weeks, and my voice is still a little bit croaky. So please excuse me for me humming and hawing through my episode today. So your ego desire is also wanting you to project a version of yourself out into the world that mirrors back to you what you think you are worthy of from other people's expectations of you. So what do I mean by that? if you grew up in a household where the only way that you gained love and validation was to achieve success through getting lots of qualifications or certifications or passing competitions, taking part in gymnastics, I don't know, tap dancing, ballet, singing competitions, sports competitions, whatever it was, if that was the way that you received love and validation, your ego mind might tell you that your actual desire is to achieve success that way. But your heart desire, your soul desire, might actually want you to take a massive chill pill and relax, knowing that you are worthy and successful, regardless of whether you achieve all of those accolades that you received as a child because you felt like you needed that in order to be loved and validated. Your ego desire comes from a place of being a woman trying to fit into a patriarchal society. And there are so many expectations placed on us as women. There are so many expectations placed on us as women in this patriarchal world. We are told we need to look a certain way, act a certain way, speak a certain way, not to upset people, but be assertive, but don't be aggressive. Make sure that you have a fulfilling career, but don't forget to be a homemaker and a mother. Make sure you've got dinner on the table. Don't forget you need to stay looking young in order to be desirable. So there's all of these expectations that are placed on us. And as women growing up in this world, we are learning to undo so much of this narrative that has had us kept in this box and had us kept in this little contraption of who we think we should be and how we think we should look, or how other people desire us to be and other people desire us to look, that we then internalize and think that they are our desires. But actually those desires are just coming from the ego. They're not coming from the soul. Your soul desire will course through your body with an energy that you cannot control. It will feel so good in your body because you'll be like, wow, I'm so excited by the energy that's moving through me. And I know that whatever this energy is, it's here for me and it feels freaking exciting. So if you've ever had that feeling of like a fizzle of excitement in your sacral, in the seat of your soul, and you come up with this idea that feels so right for you, that is your soul trying to whisper to you, maybe not even whisper, maybe it's trying to get your attention by actually shouting at you. Because when you don't choose to tune in to those subtle whispers, or maybe not so subtle whispers, they're just going to get louder and louder and louder until you start to listen. And the universe has a funny way of trying to keep you in the alignment that your soul is frequent, like the frequency that your soul is actually vibrating at. So the world, the universe, God, goddess, great spirit has your back and wants you to live your life from your highest perspective, from your highest alignment, from your highest frequency, from your soul desire. But because we've been living in this matrix world that has us living from the ego space, we often dismiss as women those desires that live in the seat of our soul because we think we're not worthy enough, or maybe it's because you think that you're not able to actually achieve it because you are a woman, and inherently, genetically, ancestrally, women have been oppressed and suppressed and silenced and dismissed and shamed for having their desires. And maybe it lives in your lineage. Maybe it lives in your family line. Maybe it lives in your womb space, that you feel like you are not worthy or capable of actually living out the desires that live so deeply within your soul. So the universe, or great spirit, whatever you want to refer it to, I like to say great spirit and God, they will move your life in a variety of ways until you start to actually listen to those soul's desires. So it might be that things keep going wrong and you keep trying to resist it because your ego mind tells you that you should be a certain way, or you should be fulfilling a certain desire from your mind space, your ego space, that little kid, like the tantrum kid that's like, yeah, but I want it this way and I want my life to look that way and I want it now. Whereas your soul desire runs on its own time. There is no time scale with it. It runs on its own frequency, its own vibration, its own time scale, and it knows that you don't have to rush to get there, because Great Spirit, God, is moving everything exactly as it should to get you to where you need to be living out your soul's desires. And it might not go on the timeline that you think it does, and that's where your ego will come in and try and rush it and be impatient and actually crush the possibilities that you have to live your life in your highest alignment from your soul desire. And so when Great Spirit or God is trying to move things around for you to show you that you're not living in your highest alignment, it might look like things going wrong, one thing after the other. It could be like, for me this year, literally everything that could go wrong in my house went wrong, like one after another, after another, after another, after another, until I started to listen to the messages behind it and realize where I was not living in my true alignment, where I was not listening to my soul, and where I was living from a place of ego and not from my soul's desire. And when I started to tune into it from that space, the messages from my soul got louder and louder. And as a result of that, I was able to start putting things into action to make the desires that were coming from my soul manifest into my reality in a more aligned way. Because when I was coming from the ego mind, I was essentially resisting the truth of the timeline that has been created for me, as opposed to the timeline that I think I should be on and living. And you might find the same thing. Maybe it's that you're being pushed out of your job because it's just not the resonance for you anymore, and you have a greater purpose and a greater gift to be offering the world. Maybe it's the same in a relationship. You know that it's not right. You keep forcing it. You keep pushing it. Your ego mind is saying, yeah, but I desire to be in a loving relationship. I desire to get married. I desire to have children, or I desire to stay in this relationship, whatever it is. And so you do that, even though your soul might be saying to you, hang on a minute, this isn't right for you. And if you trust me, I promise you, I'm going to bring you something better. Because when you open up those possibilities and start to listen to those whispers, then they start to become loud messages that you can follow to actually live the life that you desire on your terms, from the seat of your soul, when it feels fully in alignment, like that energetic, like fizzle that I explained earlier. And so in Soul on Fire, this 3-week journey that I'm going to be taking you on, we will look at all of the reasons why you've struggled in the past to actually listen to your soul desire, whether it's resistance, whether it's fear, whether it's inner child traumas that you've had that stop you from thinking that you deserve to live the life that you actually desire in alignment, and instead settle for something way more mediocre because you think that's all you're worthy of. And we will explore this throughout the 3 weeks, as I said, with the live opening ceremony, the live closing ceremony, a live breathwork journey, and daily drop-ins in the Telegram group with tasks and challenges for you to explore what the blocks and the resistances are that are stopping you from living from your soul desires, so that by the end of the 3-week journey, you've cultivated new habits, new awakenings, and repatterned part of yourself that actually will allow you to open up to the possibility of tuning into those soul's desires and then having the courage to actually bring them into your reality and actually manifest them into your reality. You know, when I didn't listen to my soul's desires, I ended up in really difficult situations. I ended up in jobs that didn't serve me and actually made me feel very sick. I physically got sick. I ended up in an abusive relationship for far too long, even though I knew my intuition was telling me otherwise, and I just didn't listen. I just ignored it. I ended up in that relationship for far too long, and the recovery process post that abusive relationship took a really long time, because I just didn't believe that I was worthy of going for the dreams that I had, because I didn't trust myself, because I told myself that I'd got myself in this situation and I'd made these mistakes. And it took me a really long time to come out of that and to actually listen to what my soul truly wanted and to trust myself again and to start expressing my voice again. You know, when you don't listen to your soul's desires, as I said, the universe will have a way of redirecting you and showing you where you actually get to go. And when I did listen to my soul's desires, I was able to get dream jobs abroad, like earning really good money as a teacher that I would never have earned here in the UK. I got to travel the world. I got lots of extra holiday. I got to meet amazing people. I got to do incredible things like build primary schools and houses in India. I got to meet incredible people. I got to do so many cool things. I was running like workshops at conferences at international schools at the time. I got to do so many amazing things when I listened. I got to move to 2 countries. I started my business. I get to teach women now through this transformation. I love to bring women through to their wild liberation. Nothing lights me up more than holding space for women to go through this radical transformation. And I'd never have gone to do my breathwork training. I'd never have gone to India to do that. I'd never have done my doula training or my coaching training. I'd never have put out any of these offerings or started this podcast or holding women's circles or running events or going to festivals. I'd never have done any of those things had I not listened to my soul's desire. Had I not actually truly tuned in to what my soul was asking me to do. I would have just stayed stuck in the PTSD. I would have stayed stuck in a space that had me trapped in a real holding bay where I just didn't think I was worthy of living my dreams, because why would I be worthy of that? I was here for suffering and I was here for pain and I was here to be abused. So I really encourage you to tune into where your desires are coming from. Are they coming from your ego because you think that's what you need to do in order to be seen, heard, validated, loved? Are you doing it because that's what society has told you to do? Are you doing it because that's what your partner expects of you? Are you doing it because that's what your parents expect of you? Or are you truly tuning in and listening to the soul part of you that has a much deeper, bigger, more aligned plan for you? I'm going to be teaching you this and so much more in Soul on Fire. We start with the live opening ceremony on October the 15th. It is such a steal. It's £111 for 3 weeks of me in your back pocket and 3 live ceremonies. It's an incredible, incredible deal. It's the first time I'm running it. The price will go up on October the 8th, and I'm never going to be running it at this price point again because, frankly, I'm giving a lot of my energy and my tools and my expertise every single day for 3 weeks so that you can potentially have a life-changing experience. So this is the first time I'm running it. I would so love you to get on board. I would love you to be a part of that. And if you're sitting there listening to this thinking, I have dreams, I have desires, I feel stuck in my body, I feel stuck in my limited mind, I know I've got fear around it, and I know I just need some encouragement. I know I need a safe container with other women where I get to be witnessed and heard and express parts of myself. And I'm ready for some awakenings, and I'm ready for some aha moments, and I'm ready to do a little bit of healing work and move through the blocks and the resistances that are stopping me from living in my true alignment. Then hop in, sis. Hop in. The link is out. It's on my Instagram. It's on this podcast. I'll put it in the show notes. It's in my WhatsApp group, the Sacred Sisterhood Circles, if you want to join that. It's on my mailing list. There are multiple places where you can access this 21-day journey. Soul on Fire. Come in. Let's get you wildly liberated. Let's set your soul on fire so that you can start living the life that you desire, because I know that you know somewhere deep down that you truly are worthy of it, but something is stopping you from doing it. I literally can't wait for this 21-day container. It's been sitting and bubbling away inside of me for a really long time, and I'm so excited to put it out there into the world. I'm so excited that I listened to my soul desire to create this and to put it out there, because I know that you as a woman deserve to live the life that you truly desire, from alignment, from true purpose, from lighting yourself the F up and feeling so clear in your gifts and feeling so clear in why you came here to this planet at this time. And I honor you and I love you. And I can't wait to tune in with you again next week. If you want more information about the 3-week journey, click the link in the show notes and I will welcome you in with open arms. Until next week, have a magical, magical day.